Thomas Frank is set to be the next Tottenham manager. I think that would be a really good appointment. I think that you've got to put that Ange kind of what's happened with him to a side and Thomas Frank separate, because I'm personally quite upset that the club made this decision around Postecoglou's turn from Anchor to being upset. I don't think it's the right decision. I don't like the way they went about it. However, you know, just because I didn't agree with that doesn't mean that I'm start saying all these managers are useless that we're linked with, because Thomas Frank, I think, is certainly the best candidate there. I think if we look at his job at Brentford, he's done very well with a tight budget. I've actually had a negative net spend since he's been there, Thomas Frank, which is obviously very rare now in football. They've just coped really well. He's taken them from the Championship up to Premier League. That was good enough, but now they're a stable Premier League outfit that finished in the top 10 last season. Obviously they lost their best players. Brentford are been that club where they're just like, yeah, we're going to always sell on our best players, you know, from David Raya, who went to Arsenal, to Ivan Toney, to Christian Eriksen, to Ollie Watkins. They always sell their best player, and they just somehow cope really well. I think, yes, the recruitment's been good at Brentford, but that squad is average at best with a really good front three. So Thomas Frank's done an excellent job at Brentford. Don't worry, Brentford fans will look after him. And I just think that Frank really suits this group of players. I think with Ben Davies as well, extended his contract, probably would have anyway, but I think that's an indication that Frank is coming, because there's a possibility that sometimes Frank reverts to the back three. Davies obviously can play that left side of the three. So I'm really excited about that. He's good in-game management, has tactical flexibility, has no like set system, looks flexible game for game, and I love Ange, but my only criticism of him was, and then still is, that, you know, he's still or die kind of down that hill. It's never going to change, whereas under Frank there is that flexibility. It can be tweaked, and his in-game management, I think, is as good as, if not better than, Postecoglou, and he's certainly got that kind of, you know, buzz on the touchline that obviously Ange didn't have. So I think it's important to have someone that's barking orders at the players, you know, they know their expectations, giving bits of information to help them. As Ange, there's not much input from the sideline, so I think that's where we lost out. So no, Thomas Frank for me. I mean, I like Marco Silva, but I mean, it's a bit unambitious. Don't like the idea of De Zerbi. I think Iriola's not going anywhere. Klassen, I do like. Klassen's the only one where maybe would make an exception and go, okay, he'd be my favourite. But I think Frank's right for Tottenham. I think it screams getting back into Europe. The only I don't agree with Ange, if we'd sat here and we finished 5th or 6th and not won anything, he'd still be in the job. So I don't agree with that. That's Levy's Tottenham. What I do agree with is appointing Thomas Frank. That could mean we bring Brian Mbeumo to the club, which is enough on its own. That's absolutely massive. The club are like, all I keep saying last year, the Spurs, it's like, yeah, but they also want Eze, so it's like kind of one or the other. But it should be both, really, with the season ticket prices that self-included pay and everyone else, and the fact that we sold the dream of the new stadium, that be able to compete with the big teams on the pitch, in the transfer market. We haven't really done that, so it's a bit of a lie, but this video for now is solely based on Thomas Frank, who I think is a really good manager. I think he'd be right for Tottenham. Done an excellent job at Brentford, probably taken them as far as he can, and Tottenham now, I think he's right in terms of what he's on his coaching staff. So Tottenham need a little bit of work. Looks like he's accepted the offer, and he'll be coming to us. I think it'll be done this week and announced and sealed, etc. so that's good, because we should have got on with it earlier, should have made that decision earlier, whether it's stick or twist of Van bringing that manager quicker, because obviously we're going to miss that first part of the transfer window. It closes for the Club World Cup, and I just feel like we need to get on with it. Like Stillman, Bournemouth, Man United, I think Cunha would have been, you know, great. So if Frank can bring players, like, he's not going to bring them all, obviously it'll probably be like 1 or 2, but out of like Mbeumo, Wissa, you know, there's players in there that would be really good for us. So we'll have to see. Damsgaard would be great. Again, the start to see it happening is getting on a little bit. That's my thoughts on Thomas Frank. I'm really happy with it. That screams a big appointment to me. Doesn't mean we forget Daniel Levy, but we should get behind whoever the manager is, whether we like them or not. I'm sad about Ange. I'm fully behind Thomas Frank though, because I think that's a mistake with Nuno. Don't get me wrong, he didn't do well, but the fan base never really got behind him. So that was a mistake on our part, and I know the fans will. So thank you very much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Thomas Frank to Tottenham.